Welcome to this shortwave radio channel. And one of the things that is often a question that's been asked, radios like the Texan PL330, the pretty much all radios, but radios like the XH Data D808, even the Texan PL 880 990, X01, 501X, sorry, H501X, and so on, all have Texan PL368, Counticom GP7 SSB, GP5. They have a feature that, of course, lets you scan the bands. And one of the things that it does is it scans the international broadcast bands. So the ETM scan, for example, which is a great feature on radios, is a feature that scans international broadcast bands, puts them in temporary memories, and gives you the results of a scan of the different international broadcasts. Radios like this one, the 990, don't have ETM, but they have ETS, and it kind of does the same thing, except that the memory is permanent rather than it's temporary. Of course, you can overwrite them all the time. And the question that comes all the time is, why didn't they make one that scans the full shortwave spectrum? Several answers to this. First of all, it would take an enormous amount of time because the scan speeds of these are very slow. So, say going from 3 to 30 megahertz would take an eternity. And remember that scans rely on the fact that a signal is there. And when I say a signal, when you're listening to an international broadcast band station, these stations have a carrier because they're in AM mode. So even if they're not talking, the radio will still, add that result because there's a signal there. There's something that it's, that possibly is going to happen even if they're not talking at that time because it detects the carriers, the different signals of these stations. Going outside the international broadcast bands, you fall into the amateur radio and utility signals, and most of them are in single sideband, which means, first of all, no carrier to hang on to. So if you're in between two words in a speech at the time of the scan, well, even if there was a broadcast, it's just not going to know that something was there. So it won't be tagged. So you're going to lose a lot of possibilities of signals that might be there, but the radio just went through because at that time, at that single moment, nothing was there. The other thing is utilities and amateur radio is sporadic. It isn't something that's going to be, it's not like an international broadcast station that often is there at specific times. And even if you come back, 20 minutes later, it's probably going to still be there, especially if you scan at the top of the hour. Amateur stations might have a conversation while the scan's being done, but the time that it takes for the scan to complete, like I said, they are slow, so that scan would take a very long time. That conversation is probably gone. So you're going to get tons of empty channels that whatever was there at the scan time isn't there anymore. So it becomes extremely tedious, and you will have as a result dozens and dozens of useless memory channels that have nothing to offer in there. So in reality, scanning automatically the shortwave spectrum is really a waste of time. You want to do that manually, slowly. That's the real way that you will actually enjoy what's out there. And a lot of those won't even be, specific. They might sometimes give you channels that have regular information, like aeronautical frequencies. But a lot of single sideband transmissions could be totally random, meaning keeping that in memory is useless because whoever was on that frequency at that time will not use the same frequency probably the next time. So that's why radios concentrate on scanning the international broadcast band. It would take way too long. You'd get dozens and dozens of empty channels at the end of the scan. And you probably also, would not understand exactly what you're getting and why so much, waste of memory channels for all of it. So it really is technically a useless feature to scan the full spectrum. You want to do it manually. That's really the best way to do that. And, it's not the same as international broadcast bands. Like I said, these stations, while the scan happens, it's a quick scan. It's a quicker scan because it just concentrates on part of the spectrum. And if there's no speech, but there's at least a carrier, it'll tell you that a station was there. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.